All right, everybody. So I'm going to do a little demo for you for the personal story design and show you how to create kind of a collage style because I don't think we've really talked about it too much as we've gone through this semester. So what I've got here is an African safari, places to go. And so what I've added here are several pictures. And so I've got that one, I've got this one, and I've organized them in a certain way where they're all kind of visible. And so I'm going to start erasing parts of each design. Okay, and so let's see here. This picture takes up most of it. So here we go. We're going to start with this one. Okay, and then I'm going to use my eraser tool. And usually what I'll go probably down to here. That's pretty small. So we want to go much larger. The larger, the better for fading. Okay, because look, if I go this size, and I change my hardness to 0. I'll click here. And then when I erase this, there's kind of a fade. But it doesn't fade as much as I would like to. So I'm going to make this brush size bigger. Let's go to about 400 or 500, something like that. Okay, this is a little bit better. So now I'm going to fade this there. Okay, now there's another image that I'm going to end up adding in later. Okay, so now I've got that picture. Now I'm going to go into this one and I'm going to blend this part. Now I'm going to make this brush even bigger. Okay, so erase some of this right there. So I'm erasing that section. Okay, now I've got this um, kudu, and so I'm going to erase some of this. Okay, so now it's starting to blend in a little bit more, and now sometimes I might want to blend a little bit less. Okay, so I'm making my brush size a little bit smaller here. Okay, and then I get into, let's see, this Gemsbuck. Which one's this? Okay, so there's an image in the background. It looks like it's this picture that's got like a line right there, so that's kind of throwing me off a bit. But you can see how these images kind of work together here. And then I'm going to put this lion in. And so I'm changing my brush size. It's at 400. Now, just to the right of the letter P, there's two brackets, and I'm going to make that even larger here. So you can see what happens. Okay? And what I want to do is I want to try to be able to see a little more of this antler coming off of there. Now, with that antler on this one, I'm going to actually, in order to blend this a little bit more, I want to select that area right there and then press delete just so I've got a better edge on there. Right? So you can see how these all kind of blend in together. Um, let's see here. Okay, so this is what I've got right now for my Safari. Now, these don't really tie very well together, right? There's not a lot of unity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these. So I'm going to select all of them, duplicate these layers, click OK, and now here are my copies. And then I'm going to hide those. So I've still got the originals. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge these layers together. Okay, so now all of these are on one layer. And then I'm going to go Image, Adjustments, Hue Saturation, click Colorize, and now it all kind of blends together a little bit better, right? So now what happens now is my focus goes a little bit more to this design, this overall shape of Africa and with these animals. And then if I wanted to, I could add a couple more in, but you can see what's going on where now it kind of ties everything together. So if we look at the difference between these, Okay, so I'm going to show these again. I'm going to hide this. And which one do you think looks better? That one or this one? I'll let you make the choice. Maybe you don't like the color. Maybe you want to go with something a little bit different. Okay, so these are some of the simple techniques that you can do. Now, if I want to, I can go in here and mess around with a filter. So I've got all these little filters here. And some of these might look more interesting. Let's see here. Whether it's a poster edge, kind of an interesting design, right? So I mean, it instantly your whole image just added an artistic feel to it. And when I add that, now I feel like I'm gonna go back in here, go into filter gallery, and do the same thing with this one, right? So I've got, I think, poster edge, and then you add an effect in there. Maybe it looks good, maybe it doesn't. I'll let you figure that out, whatever you think looks sharp or not. Maybe it's a sponge technique, maybe it's a rough pastels. So there's a lot of different ways that you can go with uh, the overall design. So we'll try this one. Can't really see much of a difference, but there was already a filter added. And then this image, this is a combination of about 3 images, right? So you had the giraffe and then the zebras, and then we blended those in to make that overall design. Now, as I'm creating this, I mean, we've done some of these little aspects throughout this design, and maybe, it's not for sure, but what I could do is I've got places to go. Here we go. And so I might even add another, little layer, like a banner down here, and then I'll make a new layer, add that below it, and then use the paint bucket. Click on it. Maybe I want to go with a color that ties in better to the overall design. Okay, and then I can go in, add an effect to it. Let's go with an outer glow to begin with. Okay, move this up. Maybe lighten this a little bit. Change the size just a hair. If I want, I could even add maybe an inner stroke. So I'll go into effects, you can do inner glow. We'll go stroke, and then instead of the outside, go inside. And in terms of a color, something like this. All right, so the colors match a little bit better. And then I'll pull that to the side. And then there's places to go. This kind of bugs me with the way it's set. So put it right in the middle. If this is something that you want to try, that would be fine. Otherwise, maybe you have this banner, and maybe this banner goes up here, and then maybe this piece. Let's see here. I'm going to hide some of these so I can see more of my overall design. So I'll take this one and this one, and then, then I'll move this one, grab these two together, and then maybe my banner goes to here. And then this piece, maybe it's something more on the lines of this. And then if I add an effect to this, what I would want to do honestly is add some other image into it that would make it look a little more of like a safari look. So I'm going to go File, Place, and then see if I can find any other images that might help the overall design. Let's see here. North Graphics 2, personal story sample. So I could do something with the Serengeti. These are just some images that I included. You know what? In fact, I'm going to use this. And then I love these trees. So I'm going to add that right in here. And then here, I don't know if you guys have seen me do this before, but I think, I know you know how to do this. But we're going to try this. Take the clone stamp, make it really big, and then there we go. It's pretty sweet. All right, so I got rid of that. And then I'm just going to create clipping mask, fit that in there, change the opacity. Okay, so I've got something like this. I can even, let's see here, might even pull this down just a little bit so it gives it a little bit different look. All right, and then I'm going to go image adjustments because I don't like the colors of it. And so I'm going to go colorize, boost the saturation, and then it's a pretty good color. All right, and so it's up to you in terms of what you end up doing. I might even change this opacity even more because I still want the African safari to stand out the most. I don't want this to stand out too much because then it takes away from what I've got. So when I have something like this, now it's a little bit lighter. So, all right, so let's zoom out. So there we go. Whether this is good or not, I'm not completely sure, but this is so much more interesting than what I originally started with. And then the last thing I want to show you here is, see how it's kind of flat at the bottom? And see how I've got that little addition? Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to add this right here. And all it is it's a paint bucket. Sorry, gradient. Okay, so I add my gradient, and a lot of times it's already black and white. And then hold shift, so it's black to checkerboard, right? So here's the black to checkerboard. Okay, and then I add that effect in there, and maybe I change the color of it. I mean, it's black right now, or what I did is I added a color overlay, and then I added that brown. And then you can see what happens when I add the brown with a slight opacity change. So there we go. That's kind of what we've got here. I'm going to show you the last thing, history window. There's where I started, and there's where I ended. So it's up to you, whatever you think looks the best. All right. So I hope this was good for you. I hope this helped give you some ideas on how to blend your designs together and then work with effects and filters and color edits. So good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.